Chapter 51 One Knife. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The bright sunshine poured down from a clear blue sky, spotlighting the two figures in the arena. They faced off, the air thick with anticipation. So, you're Feng Xian. I've heard plenty about you, your reputation precedes you at Tiando Academy. Today's my chance to avenge the girls you've wronged. Time to face the music. Howard, a cruel glint in his eye, cracked his knuckles, the sound like frying bacon. Feng Xian's gaze was steady and cold, his focus laser-locked on his opponent. Howard, level 30 combat soul master, martial soul, brown bear. Feng Xian, level 30 combat soul master, martial soul, sword. After the introductions, Howard charged in, taking the offensive. Brown bear, transform. Howard's blonde hair flew as he roared, unleashing his full power. A massive, ferocious brown bear materialized around him, his mountain-like form radiating strength. While the brown bear martial soul isn't anything fancy, it's known for its raw power and defense. It's a force to be reckoned with. In a fight, he'd be a match for a level 34 or 35 soul master, easy. 3 soul rings shimmered into existence, yellow, and purple. Third soul skill, brown bear mountain palm. Howard immediately unleashed his strongest 1000-year soul skill with terrifying force. A powerful wind rushed ahead of his right hand as he aimed a fierce strike at Feng Xian's chest. Batakujutsu. Focusing his spirit and energy, Feng Xian was in the zone, his soul power surging. His right hand gripped the sword hilt, years of training building to this moment. He drew his blade in a flash. Boom! The snow-white edge of the shadowless knife sliced through the air, a gale preceding it, slashing towards Howard. With that single stroke, Feng Xian channeled everything he knew about the art of the blade, pouring his soul power into a direct strike against Howard, a man known for his defense. Bang! A deafening crack of breaking bones. Howard's sternum caved in. Even with the brown bear spirit's strong defense, it couldn't withstand Feng Xian's fearsome draw. His face turned ashen as he coughed up blood, his body flying like a broken kite, slamming hard against the edge of the ring. How is this possible? Howard stared at Feng Xian in disbelief, struggling to rise, but collapsing, too injured to continue. 1 strike, and the soul master was defeated. Silence descended. The contestants, spectators, referees, everyone was stunned, captivated by Feng Xian's devastating blow, rendered speechless. Finally, a voice broke through the quiet. No way, it's true. He took down Howard with 1 strike. Howard's a 3-ringed soul master. With the brown bear spirit, he could handle a level 35 soul master. Feng Xian cut through Howard's defenses with a single blow. How? That's insane. What a powerful sword. This guy's a master. Murmurs filled the arena, faces etched with shock. Feng Xian's single-strike victory was unbelievable. Not just the crowd and contestants, but even the 380-level education committee members, the powerful Contras Mengshinji, Bai Baoshan and Jilin, found themselves staring intently at Feng Xian, their expressions a mixture of surprise and delight. Win or lose, they were all Tiando Academy students. Feng Xian's performance was a testament to the Academy's rising talent, a cause for celebration. Indeed, Feng Xian is strong, far ahead of most geniuses, on par with Yu Tianheng. Meng Xinji stroked his beard, a happy smile spreading across his face. The most shocked person in the central square was Emperor Xuan, sitting at the head of the VIP table. He, too, couldn't hide a hint of surprise. What did it mean to defeat a young soul lord with a single strike? It signaled raw talent and potential, the possibility of reaching the realm of title Douluo. If, before, Shui had dismissed Feng Xian due to his humble background, this stunning sword stroke had changed his mind. For the first time, he was paying attention to Feng Xian. My little brother's achievements are a testament to father's guidance. Congratulations, father. Xian Renshua cast a knowing glance at Feng Xian on the stage, a smile playing on her lips as she congratulated Emperor Shui. Congratulations, Your Majesty, 5th Prince, your potential is limitless. Ning Fengji, impressed by Feng Xian's performance, nodded his approval. Below, some praised Feng Xian, while others seethed with jealousy. "Damn it, that jerk's gotten stronger again." Du Guyan spat out. "Stronger? Now you're worth beating. I'm looking forward to our match, Feng Xian." Yu Tianheng stood tall, hands clasped behind his back, his words filled with confidence. Being the best at Tiando Academy was something to be proud of. Figures, bad pennies always turn up. Yi Lingling, the silver-haired girl, puffed out her cheeks, glaring resentfully at Feng Xian, muttering curses. Feng Xian's bad reputation meant few were genuinely happy for him. One exception was Teacher Rulin. That kid was holding back. Teacher Rulin's beautiful eyes were glued to Feng Xian, her heart pounding with excitement. Having a prodigy in her class was an honor. On stage, Feng Xian stood tall, his posture unwavering, his expression calm and indifferent. He ignored the surrounding noise, listening to the system notifications. Nice. Sword strike successful. Reward, soul power +1. Then, following the notification, a sound Feng Xian had waited a year to hear finally rang out. Congratulations. Your sword drawing skill has reached the Hinayana stage. Chapter 52 Upgrade. The Art of Sword Drawing. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. One cut for water, one cut for air. With my blade, I'm unstoppable. You've leveled up your knife skills. Congrats. Your quick draw technique is now minor mastery. Basic quick draw damage increased by 20%. New skills unlocked. Storm / swallow return. Storm / power quick draw, boosts quick draw power by 30%. Swallow return, speed quick draw, boosts quick draw speed by 30%. Feng Xian was thrilled. After 2 long years, he'd finally improved his quick draw, and he got 2 new skills to boot. He was buzzing with excitement, ready to check out his updated stats. Ultimate quick draw system. Host, Feng Xian. Level, 30. Title, Grand Soul Master. Soul Power, 101 to 500. Quick Draw, Minor Mastery, 0 to 200. God-Given Sword, 0. Martial Souls, Ice Phoenix Soul, Elementary 70 out of 100. Nine-Hearted Begonia Soul, Elementary 30/100. Talents, Ice Knife, Healing Knife. Skills, Storm / Power Quick Draw, boosts Quick Draw power by 30%. Swallow Return, Speed Quick Draw, boosts Quick Draw speed by 30%. The upgrade to Minor Mastery boosted his basic quick draw damage by 20%, and he snagged 2 awesome skills. Feng Xian's swordplay was a whole new level. This was way better than beating Howard and winning the round. This was a real level up. Clang. Sheathing his sword, Feng Xian walked off the stage, cool as could be, under the gazes of the crowd. Feng Xian. Suddenly, a big guy blocked his path. The dude had thick, dark hair, a ripped physique, and eyes like lightning bolts. He was built like a brick house and radiated an aura that put the other contestants to shame. Yu Tianheng. Feng Xian raised an eyebrow. His eyes flared, ready for a fight. It was Yu Tianheng, the rising star and odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. He hadn't seen Yu Tianheng in days, but his gaze was sharper than ever. Feng Xian may have gotten stronger, but Yu Tianheng still felt like a mountain to climb. This was a serious rival. Feng Xian stared him down, his competitive spirit burning. Feng Xian, I'll see you in the finals. Yu Tianheng smirked and launched himself back toward the ring. Next up, Yu Tianheng vs Chen Lin. Yu Tianheng, level 37 fighting soul master, with the blue lightning tyrant dragon martial soul. Chen Lin, level 35 fighting soul master, with the dark wolf martial soul. The crowd went wild. Level 35 Chen Lin was gonna throw down with level 37 Yu Tianheng, and everyone wanted to see it. Feng Xian watched intently. He hadn't seen Yu Tianheng in action yet, and now was his chance to get a read on the future head of the blue lightning tyrant dragon clan. Go Tianheng. Du Guyan pumped her fist and cheered him on. You got this. Yi Lingling. Dyer, and a bunch of other students were all rooting for Yu Tianheng. Yu Tianheng was way more popular than the dark horse, Fang Xian. He was friendly and outgoing, which made him popular at the academy. When he took the stage, the place went nuts. It was like the royal treatment Tiando got. Yu Tianheng's hair was a mess, and his eyes were narrowed. The moment the referee signaled the start of the match, he shot Chen Lin a look and went on the offensive. His right arm morphed into a dragon limb, covered in blue-purple scales. Razor-sharp claws emerged, crackling with lightning. 3 glowing soul rings of yellow and purple spun around his dragon arm. First soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. The claws, wrapped in purple electricity, slashed through the air with earth-shattering force, and slammed into Chen Lin. Boom, *1 hit, Chen Lin was done. Everyone gasped as Chen Lin went flying. Then the cheers hit. A roaring wave of noise shook the arena. He took down a level 35 with 1 hit. Yu Tianheng is a beast. There's no way he's not winning this thing. The crowd was losing their minds. Yu Tianheng's performance was insane, and it almost overshadowed Fang Xian's earlier victory. Yu Tianheng stood tall in the ring, his hair wild and his eyes blazing. He didn't even seem to hear the crowd. His gaze locked on Fang Xian, his desire to fight burning brighter than ever. Fang Xian didn't flinch. He met Yu Tianheng stare head-on, his own fighting spirit rising. He was strong, no doubt about it. Yu Tianheng defeating Chen Lin with 1 move was crazy. He was living up to his family's reputation. He was even stronger than Fang Xian thought. This was a serious rival. Fang Xian wasn't about to underestimate Yu Tianheng. He was the #1 enemy to beat in this whole competition. Hey, Fang Xian, you saw that, right? Tianheng is way better than you. Fang Xian was about to leave when Dugu Yan came up to him, smirking with a hint of contempt. You barely beat a level 31 Howard. Big deal. When you fight Tianheng, you're gonna end up worse than Chen Lin. Just you wait. Yan, leave him alone. Yi Lingling saw Dugu Yan trying to stir up trouble and hurried over to pull her away. She knew Fang Xian's temper, and she didn't want him slicing Dugu Yan to pieces. She remembered how he'd cut her down back then. That silver-haired little loli remembered it too well. Want a bet? Surprisingly, Fang Xian didn't lash out. He was calm and collected. He just gave Dugu Yan a look and walked away, leaving everyone speechless. Chapter 53, Close the door and take drugs, please recommend. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flew by, and the first day of the Genius competition wrapped up. This year saw the rise of many new stars, drawing attention from all corners. Names like Yu Tianheng, Chu Zhongtian, Dugu Yan, Shiremo, Yu Feng, the enigmatic Douglas, and the up-and-coming Fang Xian all shone brightly during the event. The royal family, academies, and major sects had already set their sights on these exceptional talents. Some organizations had secretly extended invitations, promising rare soul rings, soul bones, and other lavish benefits to entice them to join their ranks. Among this group of geniuses, Yu Tianheng from the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex clan stood out as the most exceptional and dazzling. Many believed that Yu Tianheng was the strongest among the younger generation and the most likely victor in the competition. The genius battle generated widespread buzz, and the entire academy buzzed with excitement. Prince Tiando Qian Renshue made a point of visiting and chatting with many of the promising participants. Ning Fengji, the leader of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, one of the top 3 sects, showed genuine enthusiasm. He mingled and conversed with students who had impressed him. His approachable manner made a positive impression on many of them. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, a support-type sect, held immense influence. Despite Ning Fengji's reputation as the top support-type soul master on the continent, his personal combat strength wasn't particularly high. Therefore, he placed a strong emphasis on nurturing young fighting spirit masters with potential. However, one figure seemed out of sync with the academy's vibrant atmosphere. Fang Xian left the arena early and headed home alone, locking the door as if guarding against thieves. Right now, Fang Xian had only one goal: to indulge in some private medicine. He believed that with the right elixirs, he could transcend mortality and achieve immortality. He'd raided Dugu Bo's herb garden, acquiring a trove of precious plants, carefully stored in his space ring. Now, he planned to emulate Han Pao Pao, treating herbs like snacks to rapidly boost his soul power. Seated in his room, Feng Xian arranged 3 precious medicinal herbs before him. Carefully examining the treasures housed in brocade boxes and jade containers, he pondered his strategy. The 3 herbs in question were the fairy-grade Wangchuan Autumn Water Dew, the top-grade Snow Silkworm, and the top-grade 9 Treasure Purple Mushroom. The Wangchuan Autumn Water Dew, a unique fairy grass, possessed mild medicinal properties that wouldn't clash with the star anise ice grass and fire apricot that he'd previously consumed. While it didn't directly enhance soul power, it could refine his eyes, granting him keen vision and clairvoyance. Exceptional eyesight would be a significant asset when Feng Xian used his sword-drawing technique in battle. This ability to see through anything was incredibly valuable. Tang San had also opted for this herb after eating the star anise ice grass and fiery apricot, but sadly, he wouldn't get to enjoy it this time. As for the snow silkworm and 9 treasure purple mushroom, although not considered fairy grade, they were still rare treasures. They strengthened the body and nourished vital energy. Taking them would significantly boost his physical power. Yu Xiaojiang, the master, had been stuck at level 29 for over 30 years before finally breaking through to level 30 after consuming a 9 treasure purple mushroom. Too bad the master wouldn't be getting his hands on one now. Looks like he'd be stuck as a great soul master for the rest of his life. Feng Xian mused, a hint of mischievousness in his thoughts. Besides these 3 herbs, his space ring contained 6 other fairy-grade plants he could consume, including the velvet chrysanthemum, the 8-petal immortal orchid, the coxcomb sunflower, the Chiloa tulip, the acacia heartbroken red, and the narcissus jade bone. Among these, the acacia heartbroken red was arguably the most precious. However, to pluck the heartbroken red, one had to genuinely think of their beloved. If sincere, the stone would bloom, and a drop of blood could be sprinkled on the petals. If insincere, one could vomit blood and still fail to acquire the flower. As a solitary swordsman with no need for romance, Feng Xian figured he'd never have a chance with the heartbroken red, but, in the future, he could consider selling it to Tang San at a premium. Aside from the acacia heartbroken red, the velvet chrysanthemum was probably the most potent. It was so powerful that it could make one invulnerable. If Feng Xian consumed it now, he'd likely jump 4 or 5 levels. However, as much as he craved the power, he hesitated to keep popping fairy herbs for now. After 3 consecutive days of herb-fueled indulgence, who knew what unforeseen consequences might arise. If he ended up exploding, that would be the ultimate buzzkill. It was best to save these soul power-enhancing elixirs for later. Besides, if he ever faced a crisis, he could swallow the velvet chrysanthemum, surprise his enemies, and increase his chances of survival. This thought brought a satisfied smile to Feng Xian's face. Having a trump card gave him confidence. Finally, the Chiloa tulip was also exceptionally rare. As a time traveler familiar with the Douluo stories, Feng Xian knew that it could upgrade the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda to the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda. This was incredibly valuable to the 7-treasure glazed tile school and could be used to negotiate with them in the future. After some careful consideration, Feng Xian realized he had a good grasp on the effects and potential uses of all these fairy medicines. With such a stockpile of magical herbs, he'd have plenty of advantages as he navigated the Douluo Continent. With renewed resolve, Feng Xian turned his attention to the Wangchuan Autumn Water Dew, the Snow Silkworm, and the 9-treasure purple mushroom before him. Starting with the mushroom, he began consuming the herbs one by one. Back in his world, Han Pao Pao had consumed a bunch of foundation-building pills to successfully build his foundation without any apparent side effects. Moreover, the Douluo novels hinted that excessive consumption of fairy herbs could have adverse effects, but they didn't elaborate. Therefore, Feng Xian was currently treading the path of ordinary people taking drugs, embarking on a herb-fueled adventure. He chewed the purple mushroom twice and swallowed it directly, followed by the snow silkworm without any chewing. Finally, he finished with the autumn water dew. As the medicinal power spread through his body, Feng Xian experienced earth-shattering changes, and his soul power surged. ************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* Osmot. Chapter 54 A New Week. Please vote for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So, we've gone from being a new release to basically being stuck in development hell. We're getting almost no attention, I'm talking like, barely 20 saves and 30 upvotes. Talk about a slow start. Gotta hustle. So, I'm back to ask for your support again. Please save it. Please upvote. Please throw some coffee money my way. All the usual requests. This is super important. If things go as planned, we'll have a test run this week. How well we do on that trial run determines the book's future, so, please, send some free upvotes our way. Oh, and one more thing, if we don't get any traction this week, then it's basically game over. It's just clocking in and waiting for the inevitable after that, just being honest here. Chapter 55 Soul Bone. Please vote for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The raw power surged through him, washing over every limb and bone, cleansing impurities and making him stronger. Feng Xian felt his body and soul explode with energy. About an hour later, the turbulent power calmed. He slowly opened his eyes, a flash of golden light in their depths. He stood and looked out the window, a grain of sand, a blade of grass, ants crawling, insects flying, everything was magnified, crystal clear. This was the autumn water dew in action, sharpening his vision. Feng Xian figured his new eyes weren't quite as OP as fiery eyes or clairvoyance, but they were definitely on par with a 3-tomo Sharingan. Eyes are the windows to the soul, and these powerful eyes would be a huge asset to his swordsmanship. He could track enemy movements faster and more accurately, gaining a crucial edge in combat. Thanks to the dew, his vision was incredible. He could see a grain of sand or a blade of grass clearly from 300 meters away. So, what should I call these eyes? He pondered, wanting a cool name for his all-seeing eyes. Martial arts heavenly eye. Psychic eyes. Purple divine eye. Ultimate kaleidoscope. Evil king's true eye. Death gaze. Geas. Cool names flashed through his head, but they all felt a little lacking. I'll call them nameless eyes. Because no matter what name the author picks, someone's gonna complain. Low-key and badass. He didn't want to get jumped for having some super obvious power. Yeah, nameless eyes. Not too flashy, not too weak, just right. Feng Xian nodded decisively. Next, he checked his soul power, ultimate sword drawing system. Host, Feng Xian. Level, 30. Title, Great Soul Master. Soul power, 452/500. Skill, Hinayana sword drawing technique, 0/200. God-given sword, 0. Spirits, Ice Phoenix. Elementary 70 out of 100, Nine-Hearted Begonia, Elementary 30/100. Talents, Ice Knife, Healing Knife. Sword skills, Storm Slash, Superpower Draw, plus 30% power, Yen Hui, Super Speed Draw, plus 30% speed. The Snow Silkworm and 9th grade Ziji had boosted his soul power from 101 to 452. An increase of 351 points. In a couple of days, after he'd fully absorbed the medicine, he should be able to break through to the Soul Master realm. Feng Xian grinned. The days passed, and the Genius Tournament was in full swing. This year's competition was tougher than ever, a real clash of titans. Talented fighters were popping up everywhere, all hungry for victory. Jiando Academy was founded by the royal family, and Emperor Xuya himself oversaw things. A strong showing in the tournament could catch the Emperor's eye, leading to amazing opportunities. The sky was the limit. Plus, the royal family had deep pockets. The prizes for the tournament were insane, making everyone jealous. The top 10 finishers would all receive a noble title, hereditary no less. High performers might even get a fiefdom, complete with power and glory. Most Jiando Academy students were already nobles, though usually just small-time barons or viscounts. Aside from a few scholarship students, most weren't that impressed. The second prize, on the other hand, the top 3 finishers were guaranteed a 10,000-year soul ring from a soul beast under 30,000 years old. They even got to pick the type and characteristics, a 10,000-year soul ring, chosen just for them. That was the kind of reward that made fighters drool. When they broke through to 5-ring Soul King, that free soul ring would be a game-changer. Finally, the biggest prize of all. The tournament champion would receive a rare, soul bone. Even a standard soul bone was a treasure beyond price. Everyone on Douluo Continent knew that the most valuable items were 100,000-year soul rings and soul bones. 100,000-year soul ring was the holy grail, but unless you were married to a soul beast, forget about it. Soul bones were also crazy rare, but with the Tiendo Empire's wealth and power, snagging a few wasn't impossible. A soul bone. It drew in every young powerhouse for miles. Even older, established fighters were envious. This year's crop of geniuses were battling tooth and nail for that soul bone. Soul bone. Hearing about the prize, Feng Xian's eyes lit up and his heart raced. Because of his condition, he couldn't absorb soul rings, but soul bones were fair game. If he could get his hands on a soul bone that matched his powers, it would be a massive boost. Feng Xian knew he had to win. He easily crushed his opponents in the first 2 days, winning with single blows. He quickly became a hot topic, drawing attention from every corner of the land. Even Emperor Xuya, who'd written him off long ago, started to take notice of the supposedly useless son, but the road to victory wouldn't be easy. On the 4th day, a serious opponent stood in Feng Xian's path, Feng. Level 36 Battle Spirit Lord. Spirit, Wind Chime Bird. A future member of the Imperial Do team and one of the top talents at Tiando Academy. If Feng Xian beat him, he'd be in the top 10, guaranteeing a shot at the championship. Feng Xian vs. Feng, a clash of powerhouses. Both were fighting for a spot in the finals. A showdown was about to go down. Chapter 56 Feng Xian vs. Feng. Please vote for recommendations. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sun was up. Golden sunlight streamed down on the crowded central square, bathing everyone in a warm glow. After breezing through the last 3 days, Feng Xian finally faced a real challenge. He focused, and a lean but powerful figure emerged, stopping him cold. Wind Control. Level 36 Battle Spirit Master, Spirit, Wind Chime Bird. Her long, reddish-gold hair danced in the wind, framing a strong, determined face. Despite her slender build, Feng's eyes sparkled with intelligence and competence. Feng Xian. Level 30 Battle Spirit Master. Spirit. Knife. Seeing the 3 soul rings, yellow, and purple, circling Feng Xian couldn't help a twinge of envy. Everyone else could show off their rings, but his imitation spirit couldn't absorb regular ones. Too bad. Spacing out there, snapping back to reality, Feng Xian's serious expression deepened. A 6-level power difference meant he couldn't take Feng lightly. Clang, star, his long sword hissed from its sheath, leaving a white afterimage. It wasn't a powerful display, but lightning fast, outpacing the wind itself as it slashed toward Feng. Knowing his opponent was an agility-based fighter, Feng Xian sacrificed power for speed, hoping to keep Feng, known for his quickness, on the defensive. Whoosh, star. A bluebird spirit flickered behind Feng, beating its wings and creating a gust of wind. Feng vanished from in front of Feng Xian's blade with unbelievable speed. He disappeared. Feng Xian, missing his mark, quickly scanned his surroundings. He spotted Feng floating 10 meters behind him, a glint of disdain in his dark eyes. Holy cow! That's fast. The crowd gasped at Feng's reaction. They'd clearly seen Feng Xian's blade about to strike, then Feng had vanished, reappearing behind him in a flash. The speed was unreal. Feng lived up to his name, riding the wind with blinding speed. Sorry, Feng Xian, your streak ends here. I'm taking you down. Cyan energy pulsed around Feng, and the wind chime bird spirit shrieked, unleashing dozens of invisible wind blades from above, raining down on Feng Xian in the center of the ring. First spirit skill, wind blade. So fast. Feng Xian's eyes narrowed. The wind blades were on him in an instant, the sharp edges grazing his skin, drawing a line of blood on his cheek. Ice knife. Pouring energy into his ice phoenix spirit, Feng Xian couldn't afford to hold back. He raised his shadowless knife and slashed, freezing the wind blade solid. the frozen projectiles hung motionless for a heartbeat before shattering on the ground with a brittle pop. What the? He blocked my wind blade. What's with that weird sword skill? It can use ice powers. Questions raced through Yufeng's mind, even Yu Tianheng struggled against his wind blade. Yet Feng Xian had deflected the attack with a single, swift move. Yufeng was stunned. Looks like I've met my match. Across the ring, Feng Xian knew it hadn't been as easy as it looked. Yufeng was seriously fast. Any hesitation, and he'd be out of the running for the top 10. Luckily, Feng Xian had a new trick up his sleeve, and now was the perfect time to use it against Yufeng. A golden light flashed in his eyes. Nameless eyes. Activating his newly acquired skill, the world suddenly sharpened, magnified dozens of times, becoming crystal clear. Just then, Yufeng swooped down, wings spread, intent in his face. Third spirit skill, Ghost Shadow Strike, the 1,000-year soul ring on Yufeng pulsed with purple light, and he transformed into a cyan raptor, diving, and changing directions on a dime. Instead of a direct attack, he weaved and curved, a ghostly blur, moving too fast to track. What speed! It's insane. I can't even see where he's going. How can you fight that? He's done for. Feng Xian's toast, that everyone marveled at Yufeng's blinding speed. He was moving so fast that you couldn't follow him even if you squinted. Those moves are sick. Qian Renxue watched Yufeng with a flicker of surprise. The sheer speed was a powerful weapon, even she struggled to follow him. There was no way Feng Xian could dodge. Ming Fengji stood, hands clasped behind his back, his hair gently swaying. For the first time, his calm face showed a flicker of worry. No one below Soul Elder can defend against that move. Emperor Shuya watched from his throne, his gaze fixed on Feng Xian. His expression was unreadable, revealing nothing. Ha ha ha. It's over, Feng Xian. A wild laugh echoed through the square. Yufeng materialized behind Feng Xian, his wings becoming blades, slicing through the air and aimed at Feng Xian's unprotected back. He's done. The crowd shook their heads, expecting Feng Xian to fall, but then, Feng Xian, who had been facing forward, spun around. The golden light of the nameless eye flared. As if he had known it all along, he swung his shadowless knife, cutting an arc through the air and striking at Yufeng. Reversal. Sword speed increased by 30%. At the last second, Feng Xian had used the nameless eye to anticipate Yufeng's move and unleash his new skill, reversal, against the approaching foe. Boom, star, the clash created a deafening blast. No way. Yufeng screamed as blood sprayed from his mouth. He was sent flying, tumbling out of the ring and crashing to the ground in a heap. He was out cold. On the ring, Feng Xian's hair swirled around him, his eyes sharp as he stood in the center, holding a bloody blade. The crowd was in shock. Please give me your support. Chapter 57 Upgrade. Brand new system. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng Xiansheng, the ref's announcement set the crowd off. He won. Feng Xian actually beat Yufeng. 6 soul power levels below. That dude's gotta be a freak. No way Feng Xian's that strong. Everyone was blown away. Before, Feng Xian was just a rising star, but after taking down Yufeng with a single sword, he'd become a top-tier genius, right up there with Yu Tianheng and Chu Zhongtian. Ugh. Why's that loser getting stronger? Ugh, it's so annoying. Dugu Yen was the most ticked off. She'd always disliked Feng Xian, and seeing him get stronger just fueled the fire. Top 10. My students in the top 10. Rulan was ecstatic. She lost it, dancing around and drawing stares from everyone nearby. Rulan had been teaching at Tiando Academy for 2 years, with several classes under her belt. This was the first time one of her students cracked the top 10 in the genius competition. A star student makes the teacher look good. Even if he'd only been to a few classes. Less than a year, and Feng Xian's come this far. I remember the guards stopped him last time he was here. A young man in his 30s approached Rulan, smiling. Congrats, Teacher Roland, on teaching such a great student. Teacher Qin Ming. Roland was surprised, then smiled. Come on, Teacher Qin Ming, Yu Tianheng, who you taught, is just as amazing. That the two teachers exchanged pleasantries, and with that, the top 10 were set. Yu Tianheng, Chu Zhongtian, Du Guyan, Fang Xian, Shi Mo, Osluo, Lin Dong, Li Changfeng, and Douglas. The most promising talents at Tiando Academy. With their potential, they could become major players someday. Even though they were young, big shots were already watching their every move. The finals start in 7 days. Those 10 will battle it out for the championship, and everyone will be watching. Back home, Fang Xian sat cross-legged on his bed, his eyes shining with excitement. Congrats. Your soul power is maxed out. Currently LV 30, 500/500, ready to level up. Upgrade now. The mechanical voice rang in his head. Yes. Fang Xian's body felt like a volcano, soul power erupting like lava, coursing through his limbs and bones, making him stronger. Ding! Upgrade complete. Congrats on becoming a soul master. Finally, a soul master. Fang Xian sighed in relief, a grin spreading across his face. He could feel the soul power flowing through him, so much stronger than before, and even better, hitting level 30 got him a God-given sword so he could keep copying skills. Awesome! Fang Xian stroked his chin, thinking about who to take down next. Just then, the system chimed in, congrats on becoming a soul master. System upgraded. New features unlocked. Huh? System upgrade? What's going on? Fang Xian was caught off guard, wondering what was happening. After calming down, he saw the sword drawing system had been completely revamped, with new features. 1. Personal info. Point 2. Shop. Point 3, Lottery. Point 4. Strengthening Forge. Point 5. Backpack. Fang Xian checked his personal info first, to see if his stats had changed. The most powerful sword drawing system. Host. Fang Xian. Level. LV 31. Title. Soul Lord. Soul Power. 0/600. Weapon. Shadowless Knife. Proficiency. Basic Sword Drawing Technique. 0/200. Mind State. Sword Intent. God-Given Sword. 1. Martial Souls. Ice Phoenix Soul. Elementary 70 out of 100. Nine-Hearted Begonia Soul. Elementary 30/100. Talent. Ice Blade. Healing Blade. Sword Skills. Storm/Super. Powerful Sword Drawing, plus 30% power. Yanhui. Super-Fast Sword Drawing, plus 30% speed. As a lone wolf Douluo swordsman, you get stronger every time you defeat someone. The upgrade gave him another God-given sword for copying more martial souls, plus 2 new stat bars, weapons and mind state. Fang Xian clicked on weapons, and a bunch of stats popped up. Shadowless Knife. Grade, A, Rare. Strength, 35. Speed, 72. Reinforcement, none. Special attributes, none. Overall, invisible, lightning fast, but lacks some power. A super fast blade. Note, standard weapon attribute is 10. Whoa, it showed the Shadowless Knife specific stats. Fang Xian was impressed. The upgraded system was more detailed than before. Next, he clicked on Mind State. Mind State. Stage. Beginner Sword Intent. Effect. Adds a touch of heaven and earth power when drawing, greatly increasing the draw's power. Note, Mind State is your own understanding of the sword, and can't be improved externally. Fang Xian had felt the power of Sword Intent, and it was crazy strong. It boosted his sword draw big time. It seemed like this Sword Intent couldn't be boosted from outside. He'd have to deepen his own understanding of the sword, so there were higher levels than intent. The path to sword mastery never ends. But it took Fang Xian 2 years to get Sword Intent. Reaching the next level would probably take forever. He shook his head. There were no shortcuts to getting stronger. After checking his personal info for 10 minutes, Feng Xian went back to the main menu to check out the other new features. Chapter 58 Soul Ring. Lottery and Enhancement, asking for recommendation votes. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Opening the store interface, Feng Xian's eyes locked on an incredible item. A yellow halo floated in the air, emitting a dazzling light. A soul ring. Feng Xian swallowed hard, surprised. Item, replicated soul ring, 100 years. Attribute, none. Skill, none. Description, a soul ring specifically for replicated martial souls. It lacks attributes and skills but greatly boosts replication proficiency. Price, 10 sword draws. Note, each replicated martial soul can only absorb one replicated soul ring. Replicated soul ring? Feng Xian's eyes widened at this new system offering. The store featured 3 types of soul rings, 100 year, 1000 year, and 10,000 year. All were replicas, designed exclusively for replicating martial souls. According to the system, they boosted replication proficiency without adding skills. The store's currency wasn't ordinary money, but sword draws. The price of a soul ring increased drastically with age. 100-year soul ring, 10 sword draws. 1000-year soul ring, 1000 sword draws. 10,000-year soul ring, 100,000 sword draws. Feng Xian didn't even see a 100,000-year ring. The 10,000-year being the highest, he couldn't afford even a 1,000-year ring. It cost 1,000 sword draws. Feng Xian figured he managed about 10 draws a day. A 1,000-year ring would take over 100 days. Forget the higher level ones. While the 100-year ring was cheap at 10 draws, he didn't want to waste the opportunity. A duplicate martial spirit could only absorb one duplicate soul ring. At level 31, Feng Xian could handle a 1,000-year ring. Settling for a 100-year one would be a dumb move. A soul ring. He could actually absorb one. Feng Xian was stoked. In Douluo Continent, you were nobody if you didn't have 8 or 9 soul rings. At the bottom of the interface, a blue bar displayed his currency, 0 sword draws. The system hadn't tracked his pre-upgrade draws. Bummer. Cursing under his breath, Feng Xian left the store to check out the lottery. The lottery interface was a big, colorful wheel with all sorts of random stuff listed: talent points, upgrade cards, soul rings, sword mastery, years of cultivation, under 10,000, sword draws, etc. Feng Xian wasn't even sure what some of it did. Then, a flash of red caught his eye. 100,000-year soul ring. Feng Xian spotted it and his eyes lit up. That was the ultimate treasure. Lotteries were usually a scam, with few players ever winning. Feng Xian figured this function was just another money trap, but now there was a 100,000-year soul ring. Even if it was a scam, he was in. As a guy without a soul beast girlfriend, he had no chance at a 100,000-year ring. This was insane. Feng Xian's blood rushed as he fixated on the lottery. Lottery wheel, elementary. Price, 100 sword draws per spin. 100 draws per spin. Feng Xian clicked his tongue, bummed. He hadn't even done one draw yet. No lottery today. Then, a voice in his head. First-time users get 3 free spins. Sweet. A newbie bonus. Classic, but welcome. Feng Xian was pumped, ready to spin. The wheel whirled, showcasing the awesome prizes, but Feng Xian only had eyes for the 100,000-year soul ring. He closed his eyes, counted to 6, and yelled, "Stop!" What did he get? A 100,000-year ring? Or even a 200,000-year ring? Thank you for playing. Feng Xian. I traveled to another world, and I still get thank you for playing. Feng Xian was losing it. Again. He gritted his teeth, spun, and changed his chant. 1, 2, 3, 8.8, that's the magic number. He shouted stop. On 8. Congratulations. You won. 100 sword draws. Well, at least something. 100 draws got him one more spin. Break even. Last try. Feng Xian spun the wheel and got a yellow soul ring, 800 years. Not bad. Looking at the yellow and purple ring, Feng Xian finally smiled. 3 spins got him 100 sword draws and an 800-year ring, automatically stored. Not bad at all, he was happy without even thanking the system. Personal info, store, lottery, all checked. Finally, Feng Xian nervously opened the strengthening furnace. Was this Ma Daba's curse transcending time and space, following him to Douluo Continent? An old, outdated-looking furnace appeared, just like he remembered, the same pit. As soon as he saw it, Feng Xian felt a chill and remembered bad times. Strengthening furnace, function, boosts weapon power and speed, price, 100 sword draws, friendly reminder, the price increases with the level of enhancement. Watch your wallet. Feng Xian. Chapter 59 Defeat Reward, please vote for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sun's up, skies clear. Those 3 days of rest just flew by. Before you knew it, the finals were here. The central arena was packed, and the crowd's energy exploded like a volcano, setting Tiando Academy on fire. Feng Xian's first opponent was Mo. Mo was a level 35. While his attack wasn't as strong as Yu Tianheng's or Chu Zhongtian's, his Xuanwu turtle spirit was said to have the best defense at his level. That made him a tougher matchup. In the last round, Feng Xian had faced level 36 Yu Feng. This was gonna be a real fight. Feng Xian's right hand gripped the white handle of his blade. He stared at the tall guy in front of him through the strands of hair falling across his face. This dude was over 6.5 feet tall, shirtless, with bronze skin, muscles bulging all over. He just radiated raw power. Mo was one of the top young talents in the tournament. Anyone who didn't know Mo might wonder how this guy could be a teenager. He looked like he was in his 30s. People even questioned if he was too old for the competition, but despite his rough appearance, Mo was actually just 18, still a kid. Feng Xian, you're strong, but I'm not going down. Mo was warming up, stretching his muscles, joints popping and cracking. He locked eyes with Feng Xian, serious and not taking him lightly. After the last few days of competition, everyone knew Feng Xian was a force to be reckoned with. Feng Xian, the former nobody prince, had become one of the brightest stars in Tiando Academy. Then let's get it on. Golden soul power surged around Feng Xian. He planted his feet, shattering the ground. That explosive power launched him forward. As he flew, he drew the shadowless blade from its sheath. Whoosh! The long, silver blade was razor-sharp, slicing through the air, spinning 180 degrees like a silver crescent moon, aimed straight at Mo. Clang! The shadowless blade connected, but it didn't cut through Mo's defense like Feng Xian expected. It sounded like hitting solid steel. What kind of crazy defense is that? Feng Xian's mouth twitched. His sword-drawing technique hadn't even fazed Mo. It was insane. Ha! Your sword's nothing special, Feng Xian. You think you can break my defense? Not a chance. A green Xuanwu turtle hovered above Mo's head, bathed in green light, forming an ironclad shield. Feng Xian's sword had just bounced off the Xuanwu turtle spirit's defense. Oh! Feng Xian almost burst out laughing at the sight of the big green turtle floating above Mo. A real green turtle. Another weird spirit. These Douluo spirits were seriously all over the place. Feng Xian cursed under his breath, a little amused. Xuanwu possession. Mo didn't notice Feng Xian's thoughts. All he wanted was to win. He roared, channeling the Xuanwu spirit into his body, which glowed with green light. The next moment, a giant fist slammed into Feng Xian's chest with a powerful gust of wind. Bang! Feng Xian grunted, reeling from the blow. He felt blood surge, a metallic taste in his mouth as a trickle of blood escaped his lips. His eyes flashed. He'd taken Mo's punch without backing down, and he swung the shadowless blade, slashing like crazy. Storm slash. Sword drawing power increased by 30%. Asterisk whoosh. Whoosh. Whoosh, the shadowless blade tore through the air, a ferocious tornado, crashing against Mo's tough shield. Asterisk crack, the violent sword wind hit the Xuan turtle spirit's defensive shield, and the seemingly unbreakable shield cracked. The storm slash was so powerful it broke through Mo's defense, slamming into his body and sending him flying. Ugh! Mo's face turned white, and he coughed up blood. He felt like he'd been hit by a wild animal. His body was racked with pain, and there was a gash on his chest, bleeding freely. That power, how did you? He stared at Feng in disbelief, not understanding how his defense had been breached. Full of anger, Mo collapsed. Feng wins. Meng Xinji, seeing Mo fall, declared Feng the victor, triggering a wave of shock. What? Mo lost? Feng who'd been on the ropes, had turned things around, defeating Mo in one swift move. People were surprised and amazed. Congratulations on defeating a 3-ring Soul Master, reward, 100 sword draws and soul power *100, the system notification appeared in his mind. Huh? Feng stared, puzzled. Then he realized what was happening and felt a surge of excitement. He opened his personal panel, the ultimate sword drawing system, host, Feng level, LV31, title, Soul Lord, soul power, 100/600, weapon, Shadowless Blade, proficiency, basic sword drawing technique, 0/200, state of mind, sword power, God-given sword, 1, martial spirits, Ice Phoenix Soul, elementary 70 out of 100, Nine-Hearted Begonia Soul, elementary 30/100, talent, Ice Knife, Healing Knife, sword skills, Storm. Superpowered sword draw, power increased by 30%, Yanhui, super speed sword draw, speed increased by 30%, number of sword draws available, 200, as a lone Douluo swordsman, your strength increases every time you defeat an opponent. His soul power had indeed increased by 100, and his available sword draws were up by 100. Now Feng understood the meaning of the message at the bottom of his personal panel. After the system upgrade, he got sword draws and soul power for winning fights. He could level up fast. Defeating a soul master got him 100 sword draws, enough for a lottery ticket. 10 soul masters would net him 1,000 sword draws, enough to buy a 1,000-year soul ring. And beating a soul lord got him 100 draws. What about stronger opponents? A soul king? Would the rewards be even better? Feng was pumped, excited about what was coming. Chapter 60 Strong Showdown, please vote for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The finals are in full swing. Yu Tianheng breezed past Li Changfeng, securing his spot in the next round. Chu Zhongtian, equally dominant, overwhelmed Du Guyan from the start, never letting her unleash her green scale snake venom, and also clinched a victory. Oslo squeezed past Tashima, but took a beating in the process, dimming his chances of going further. Douglas, usually low-key, surprised everyone with his raw power in the finals, taking down Lin Dong with a single punch. As dusk approached, the 5 finalists were set: Yu Tianheng, Chu Zhongtian, Feng, Oslo, and Douglas. Making it to the top 3 guarantees a 10,000-year soul ring, plus some sweet bonuses, courtesy of the Empire. But the ultimate prize is the championship. This year's champion snags a rare fire attribute 10,000-year soul bone, the ultimate treasure. Bright and early the next day, the second round of the Genius Battle Finals kicked off. With 5 players left, Meng Xinji and the other judges drew lots to decide the matchups. First up, Yu Tianheng vs Oslo. Second, Feng vs Chu Zhongtian. Douglas got lucky with a bye, sending waves of envy through the crowd. Just like that, Douglas advanced to the top 3, locking in a 30,000-year soul ring. Meanwhile, everyone else had to fight for it. Yu Tianheng vs Oslo wasn't much of a contest. Yu Tianheng was already stronger, and Oslo's injuries from the previous match made him easy prey. Yu Tianheng wiped the floor with him right off the bat. Instant knockout. The first match ended quickly, sending Yu Tianheng straight to the next round. The crowd was a bit bummed. It was over before it even started. Yu Tianheng barely broke a sweat, and everyone wanted to see a real brawl. Next up, Chu Zhongtian vs Fang Xian. Meng Xinji's announcement sent a jolt through the audience. All eyes locked on the ring. Excitement crackled in the air, everyone was pumped. Whoa, Fang Xian vs Chu Zhongtian. This is gonna be good. The ultimate showdown of talent. Fang Xian or Chu Zhongtian, who's gonna win? The crowd buzzed, debating the match with wild enthusiasm. Chu Zhongtian, stepping into the ring, Fang Xian locked eyes with the dark-haired man, his own gaze sharpening with determination. Fang Xian, Chu Zhongtian's voice was low and intense, his dark hair wild, expression fierce. His build was lean but powerful, eyes like a hawk, a cold light glinting within. He radiated the strength of a mountain. This was Chu Zhongtian, the Little Overlord, a level 37 battle spirit master, and one of Tiando Academy's strongest young guns. Chu Zhongtian's martial spirit was the golden-winged roc, an ancient and ferocious beast, incredibly rare and every bit as powerful as Yu Tianheng's blue electric tyrannosaur. The two faced off, the temperature rising, the air thick with tension. Qinghe. Emperor Shui, who had been quiet until now, turned to Qian Renxue beside him. Do you think Fang Xian stands a chance against Chu Zhongtian? Qian Renxue was taken aback. Shui, usually so reserved, suddenly asking about Fang Xian. Was he starting to see Fang Xian as a threat to her position as prince? A flicker of cold calculation crossed her eyes, she frowned, considered, then shook her head with a sigh. The level difference is too great, and Chu Zhongtian's martial spirit is top tier. I don't see it happening. Emperor Shui nodded calmly, his expression unreadable. He turned to the gentle-faced man on his left. Sect Master Ning, as the leader of the Seven Treasures Glazed Sect, one of the three top sects, you must have a unique perspective. What's your take on this match? Ning Fengji put his hand behind his back, smiled slightly, and said smoothly, Your Majesty, instead of saying the odds are slim, perhaps we should consider that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Shui murmured, a ripple disturbing his usual impassivity. He turned to Ning Fengji with a smile. Sect Master Ning, I hear you have a bright, lovely daughter, almost 12 years old. Ah, yes, I do. Ning Fengji was slightly surprised, raising his eyebrows and nodding quickly. I see. Emperor Shui trailed off, then fell silent, leaving Ning Fengji to ponder the meaning behind his words. It wasn't just the royals buzzing about it. Fang Xian vs Chu Zhongtian had everyone on the edge of their seats. Debates raged over who would come out on top. Thump thump. Thump thump. Teacher Rulan's heart pounded. She wasn't even competing, but she was more nervous than Fang Xian. What am I gonna do? He's up against Chu Zhongtian. Is Fang Xian gonna lose? No way. How can my student lose? Ha ha ha, Fang Xian's gonna win. He has to win. Teacher Rulan tried to convince herself that Fang Xian would win, but she couldn't shake the feeling that Chu Zhongtian was just too strong. He'd crushed everyone in the previous rounds, most of them in under 10 seconds. For Fang Xian to win, it would take a miracle. Qin Ming smiled at Teacher Rulan. Your student has a knack for pulling off miracles, doesn't he? Teacher Qin Ming, thank you. Rulan was startled, the worry easing from her face. She felt a surge of gratitude towards Qin Ming. His words put her at ease. Lose. 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 Du Guyen pouted, muttering like a little witch. She gave a thumbs down to Fang Xian, silently cheering him on. Fang Xian, you got this. Yi Lingling bit her lip, barely audible as she watched Fang Xian take the stage. Central Arena. I now announce that the match between Fang Xian and Chu Zhongtian begins. Meng Xinji, the referee, cleared his throat and declared the start of the battle. Instantly, both Fang Xian and Chu Zhongtian's eyes blazed, and the two charged at each other.